Alright, so just a little bit of revision on the ellipse. It's going to be the basis for your revision for your next couple of questions this week. And I just want to revise quickly, go through how to actually draw the ellipse again. It's in your books, but just go through it anyway. Okay, so first of all, where do we get our ellipse? Where's the ellipse come from? Okay, so here I have this cone, okay. It's the form of all conic sections that we get. So I just want to show you how we actually get a cone or an ellipse from a cut section of a cone. Okay, so this is an isometric view of my cone, and this is going to be a front elevation. Okay, so when I look in the front elevation, we see it just looks like a triangle. Okay, now, so if I take a cutting plane, okay, a horizontal cutting plane across the top, just like this, so I'll just put it, and basically all I'm doing is I'm just bringing a horizontal plane horizontal to the XY line across. Now, what we get when we do that is the resultant shape is going to look like a circle. Okay, so no matter where I bring my the distance I bring it up will determine how big my circle is going to be. So we see here, no matter where I bring it up there like that, okay, the resultant figure is always going to be a circle. That is when my cutting plane is horizontal or is parallel to my XY line, or it's basically a horizontal line. Now, how do we get an ellipse from this? Well, basically an ellipse is when this cutting plane is at an angle. Okay, so it's at an angle. So like this. Okay, rather than it being horizontal when it was at like this, it's at an angle. So I'm going to put it at a 45-degree angle, like this. Okay, or even at 30. Now, so 30-degree angle. Okay, so how do we get an ellipse from this? Well, if I look around, okay, now I'm going to just look back up in the top plane, and we see the resultant shape, the cut section that we have, is an elliptical curve. Okay, so it's not a circle anymore because it's an elliptical curve. And that's how we get. That's where the basis where our ellipses come from. Now, the last one, then what we look at is a parabola. So if I wanted to get a parabola from a cut section of this ellipse, or from this cut section of cone, what I'm going to do is I'll make a cutting plane that's parallel to the outer generator, or the outer side of my cone. Okay, so we see that the very edge line of my cone here on my elevation, I'm going to put a cutting plane that's parallel to it. Okay, and I bring this in. I'll bring it around, and I'll just view from the right hand side this time. Okay. Sorry, now 1 second. Okay. And we're looking this direction. Okay, so we see that this time there we go. That the cut section this time looks like a parabola. Okay, so it's a parabola section, and the reason that it's a parabola, it's always going to be a parabola when my cutting plane is parallel to the outer edge or outer generator of my cone. Okay, now, so putting this back into, so drawing out what an actual ellipse looks like. Okay, so here I have it. First of all, to draw an ellipse, we need our major axis and we need our minor axis. Okay, so the ellipse can be going in a horizontal position, or it could be going in a vertical position. Okay, whichever the longest. So here my major axis is always the longest axis. Whichever way that's facing will be determine the way the ellipse is facing. So see here, this my major axis is a horizontal line, so that means the elliptical curve is going to be something like this. Now, so what do I need to do? Okay, well, I need to draw first of all my major. If I have my major axis, so I'm just going to label that. Okay, and this is my minor. Okay, So when I have my major axis, what I need to draw in is what's known as my major circle, and the radius of my major circle is half the length of my major axis, okay? Or the diameter of my major circle is going to be the length of my major axis, whichever way you want to put it. So like this. Okay, and then that's how I construct my major circle. Okay, so this is my major axis. The circle is the major circle. Now also I want to construct my minor circle, so it's going to be the same principle here that applies. Okay, so now I have my major circle constructed and I have my minor circle also constructed. So what I want to do is I need to now find a series of points on my curve. Okay, one rule that we always know: the two ends of the major axis, okay, are always 2 points on the curve, and the ends of the minor axis are also points on the curve. Okay, so these are going to be points on my curve. I need to find a series of more points around here in order to draw it in. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use my 30-60 degree set square, and I'm going to draw lines using it, passing through the center point of the circle. Like so. Okay, so I'm after dividing up into 12 different parts. Now, so I have 1, okay, 12. Now, what we need to do now is still need to get my my points. Okay, so what I need to do is I have my major axis and my minor axis here. I need to draw lines parallel to both my major and my minor axis. So I'm going to take this point, start at this point 12 here. Okay, I'm going to draw a line down from my point 12 like this. Okay, now this line is parallel to the minor axis. Okay, so we see it's parallel to the minor axis. If I was to move this across, they're both parallel. Okay. Now we need to go similar, I need to go parallel to my major axis. Okay, so from my minor circle, I'm going to go parallel to my major axis. Okay, so this line here I'm after drawing in is parallel to my major axis, as we see. Okay, and just have to go into the arc on me. Okay, so I'm gonna, now where them 2 points meet, that gives me 1 point on my curve. Okay, so I need to repeat that process for the rest of them. So for example, for this point here, I'm going to draw a line parallel. Okay, and it's going to be coming down this way. That's giving me another point. I'm going to repeat that process now for the rest of my points. Okay, so what we get now is a number of different points on the curve of my ellipse. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we want to draw these in freehand. Okay, should never be using a ruler here. We want to go freehand and draw it in. So take a point where you're going to start. Okay, you're going to start here. And your curve should be nice. Avoid trying to go over it a couple of times with a different pencil. Okay, it should be nice and smooth. Like that. Okay, and now that's my ellipse completed. Okay, so from that then that's the base for any ellipse. So different questions then require different things. Okay, so just for example here, these are two simple questions. They're just a Kia logo, and if we were to draw this, I know that the length of my major axis in this case is going to be 140 millimeters. So I can draw in, if I was to draw this in, I could draw on my major axis, so this one here, and I know it's 140. I know my minor axis in this case is 70 millimeters. Okay, so I could draw this in as 70. From there then I could construct the ellipse. Another question then, so similar to this one here, this is a drawing of a bridge in Venice, okay, in Italy. Now notice that only the bottom section of the ellipse is, only the top section of the ellipse is used, okay. And I have the length of my major axis 130, and I know the half the length of my minor axis is 35. Okay, so basically what I'm doing is I'm only drawing this top section of the ellipse. Okay, so I only actually have to draw two semicircles like this in order to draw that. I'd be drawing a semicircle with a radius or with a diameter of 130 or a radius of 65 to get my major, and I'd be drawing my minor axis, a minor circle, would have a radius of 35. Okay, you draw in the top of the ellipse and then you can draw in the rest of the bridge from there. Okay, so it's just different lines.